Alright guys, welcome back. We're moving on to map number 3 between LW Blue versus Meta Athena in the third place match here in OGN Apex Season 2. So it is currently tied up 1-1, and of course, third map we are going to an assault map. It's going to be Temple of Anubis. Let's just get this underway right now. And I believe it should be Meta Athena starting off on the attacking side. Let's go ahead and push this forward. Cool. Alright. No, on the defense it's going to be LW Blue. And they're going for the dive defense, and honestly, I like that. Overwatch is one of these games where it pays more to be the aggressor than the defender. A little bit of the opposite of like Counter-Strike, right? Where if you're playing a pug style match, pickup group, it's much easier to coordinate defenses on sites than it is to try and coordinate offenses, especially when you're trying to go for like smoke takes, which is the same thing here on the defense, especially on an assault map where you just go for a more scrappy style and hope your individual play plays out. There are very few set plays here on Anubis that you can actually do. Some teams like to hold up on plateau here. Others, you'll see, throw a 76 up top or a 76 up top here on this platform, or even the one above it with the Widowmaker. And then others try to hold even further back, basically by the point, way in the back. But Anubis is still one of those maps where defensive strategies haven't been as fleshed out yet. So going for this more reactionary style, I enjoy a lot more. It does react to the 3 different approaches that teams can take, right? Left to the high ground, mid, and then right to the high ground. So at that point, some teams, you know, they can put the Winston here and Genji here, or vice versa. And if someone tries to push up from the stairs, or they try to go through a small health pack here, that leaves their supports in the back line vulnerable to the dive heavy composition. Just go ahead and jump on them. So support positioning is paramount, especially when you're pushing forward on the offense here. You can really get disorganized very quickly, and that's what LW Blue is trying to bank on here with their defense. This is also very reactionary to any kind of like Widowmaker picks if Saya player goes for it, or even a Pharah, because of the amount of verticality on this map and how you can actually jump up to these ledges and create more vertical height for your team, especially for like Winston and Genji. They can actually contest Pharahs and pharmacies. So I like this a lot. Alright. On the offensive side, pretty dive heavy composition. We've seen this pretty prominently here on Anubis. Libero picking up the Genji, Alpha on the Winston, and of course Hoon picking up the Diva. Is supposed to create space for a Saya player here on this Widowmaker, and we'll see if he gets the pick. But once again, a very mobile composition coming out from LW Blue. I don't know if there are going to be many opportunities for Saya player at this point. There we go. Oh! Never mind. Flower peaks too soon. Flower peaks too soon. He needed Roar to go for that first challenge. But Meko does get demech'd here, so there's an opportunity for them. There we go, the dive's coming out. Way too much pressure. Sebilby answers back. And this is all Sebilby. This is all Sebilby. The fact that Saya player wasn't able to pick him off from the high ground was huge. Sebilby with the double kill onto both the supports immediately shut down that push. You saw, without the supports, War immediately just gets focused down. He melts in the face of all that damage coming out on the side of LW Blue. Wow, okay. Yeah, this doesn't work. You have 5 bodies on the ground versus 6 Saya players trying to get some free shots off. But LW Blue is doing an amazing job currently of just playing the sightlines and making sure that Widowmaker... oh no. Okay, there we go. He gets the kill onto Luna, but... that was a Nano and a Blade committed to that. And once again, Saya player hasn't been able to do much at this point. It's still a 5v5 fight, and there we go. Gambler shouldn't have peeked. Alright, things now starting to finally fall apart, but I don't think Sabiel is going to be able to fight this 3v5. Yeah. Saya player looked a little worried there. Honestly, I think LW Blue misplayed that once they had regained their footing on point A. Roar and Flower immediately should have diverted their attention to Saya play there, take him out immediately, and then take a 6v5. But now they do have a lot of ultimates to try and hold down this defense, and Meta Athena, they used a lot just to try to get point A, so they're not going to have that usual like snowbally effect when they transition on over and rotate for point B. Go, Roar goes down. That's a pretty big window of opportunity. Huh. Huh. That was just a wasted nano. Misplay coming out from Nuss. I understand it. Libero was at about 85%, and he was just hoping, give him the nano. One fan of shurikens is basically his ultimate at that point, thanks to the damage boost, but you already saw, or you generally knew where the entire opposing team were. None of them were really on the point. There was only about one person on the point at that junction, while everyone else was respawning in. Huh. Honestly, at this point, you know you blew your nano boost. You just go in for the dry run. That's one ultimate down, but you don't want the first ultimate to be Tracers. She builds up her pulse bomb so darn quickly. They need to be a bit more decisive in their attack there. Instead of just lollygagging between mid and left cave, they should have just ran straight on the point, make it look like it is a concerted push, force out more ultimates from LW Blue, but instead, Sabilby is just able to casually drop a pulse bomb in there. And nothing else came out. LW Blue, not playing completely reactionary, they were actually very methodical in how they approached that. Alright, Nano Blade. Good, good, good. And that's fine, because they have the self-destruct, they have the Primal Rage. Those are huge stall tactics on the side of LW Blue. They've got 4 ultimates right now. Honestly, if Meta Athena had pushed much harder in that last fight, LW Blue would be down to about 2 ultimates already. But now they're basically on par with Meta Athena. Slight advantage. There you go, that's what I was talking about. All the stall ultimates are there for them. The Primal Rage. They haven't had to use the self-destruct yet, and they're not going to have to, really. I mean, not the sound barrier. Well, the health advantage is in favor of Meta Athena. So many players actually really low. But this trickle defense coming out from LW Blue is gonna be able to stall this point out for so long. And Flowers even got his blade before he goes down. There we go. That's the end of the push. That is the end of the push. You back out. And with just the way that they approached it, having lost that Nano Blade really early on, they found themselves in this very awkward ultimate rotation that hasn't quite synced up for ultimate synergy. Now, Libero is about to have his blade, but Nuss doesn't have his Nano Boost. Alpha's just kind of used his Primal Rage whenever. They're looking very, very disorganized on the side of Meta Athena, I'd say. Even allowing Sebilby to get that free kill onto Chris, that shouldn't have happened. Honestly, I'm worried about Meta Athena. I don't know what's going on. I know they swapped in Alpha, I believe, for Tangsik. They had about 5 or 6 minutes. Now they have 4 ultimates to try and push in. But, okay, Nano Boosted Pulse Bomb comes in, immediately wipes out that Winston. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Meta Athena right now, but here on their offense, they just look completely disjointed. Doesn't look like they're playing like a team. This is looking more like my competitive matches. This doesn't look like a team that scrims together. And ultimately, I think on their offense, it came down to blowing that initial Nano Blade. That Nano Blade should have at least netted you 1, maybe 2 ticks on the point. And at that point, once you do get at least a tick on the board, it applies more pressure onto the defensive side. They have to consistently keep that in track. Hey, they've got a tick. We really can't give up any more. They can start trying to chip away at that tick advantage, get another, and then even put him within, a third of finishing out the map. But how? Meta Athena getting held on point B. Now it's going to be LW Blue on the offensive, but let's take a look at the defensive. It's basically going to be the exact same defense that LW Blue ran. So they're going for that quad dive, which for the most part worked out on point A. For the most part, it worked out point A off of the heroics of Sebilby, really coming in clutch for his team. But I don't think LW Blue is going to run a Widowmaker themselves. Flower on this Hanzo, I think it's just for pure info. He's going to get the Sonic Arrow off and then immediately swap off. Is Gambler actually going to go with this Reinhardt? What is this? Let's theorycraft, guys. I mean, Flower can, right? It was primarily Pine who played the Widowmaker back when he was on LW Red. But Flower is definitely a good hit scan. I don't know if he's really going to stick with it. Okay, Gambler switched off. Okay, so they're going to go with it. So basically the exact same composition, except they don't have a Genji on the side of LW Blue. There we go. Immediately, the defense is starting to get peppered down by Sebilby. And you got to be careful. Sebilby was a huge contributing factor on the initial defense. And that's why you turn your body away as a Winston. You don't get headshot by a Widowmaker when you're approaching here, dude. I like that approach from Alpha and Hoon. They committed way too much. Once you have that high ground, you don't jump down on them, especially not as Winston, who doesn't have his jump up immediately. If you ever see Miro play this point B, or excuse me, this point A defense with the Winston, he jumps up onto the high ground. He waits it out until he gets healed up, and that he has his next jump ready. Then he jumps on down, or he doesn't jump on down, but he falls on down, gets some free damages off, and then jumps right back up onto that sky bridge. Meta Athena hunting that kill way too much and paid for it. At this point, LW Blue are in a commanding lead. They're closer to so many more of their ultimates, and now immediately they're focusing out that Diva, making sure that Flower can get up there onto the point B sky bridge. LW Blue are basically playing this immaculately. Oh, Sabilby does get slept. This is their opportunity. Yeah. Flower's gonna swap. Nice.
플라워 선수도 지금 벤지로 아예 교체를 해준 상황이고 루나 선수 초월이 있는 타이밍이라서 이번에 나노 용검을 무시하면서 들어갈 수 있는 상황이거든요. 그리고 나서 소리방벽까지 한 번 더 사용해줄 수가 있고요. 지금 LW 입장에서는요.
Alright, good hold. Good defensive setup coming out from Meta Athena, especially if they're going to be running Alpha and Hoon on those diving tanks. Wow. 3 kills already going on over. Oh, if Roar got that, that would have been like such a great play. Alright, cool. So they do have to back off. They're super low. Roar goes down. They didn't get a tick yet. They still have plenty of time to work with. This is where I would like to see either Meko. No, Meko switching off to Zarya would probably be best choice here. Although it's generally Flower who does flex onto that Zarya, I believe. But I'd much rather a Zarya instead of a Diva on this point. So again, Zarya does a good job dealing with Divas. Dragon Blade comes on out. Flower does immediately get taken out though. Alright. Once again, LW Blue, this is a Temple of Anubis. You need that big bang combo. You need to be able to just wipe 4-5 members at the same time. They didn't wait for the Dragon Nano Blade, just like Meta Athena on their push. And that's getting punished really hard right now. If Flower had that Nano Boost, he wouldn't have been taken out so quickly by the side of Meta Athena. A Roadhog would also be good here. On the side of LW Blue, try and deal with Alpha and Hoon. Ooh, Seb will be actually losing this duel. Nano onto Diva when they had the blade on the side of Meta Athena. Yeah, right now their target selection on both sides are leaving a lot to be desired. So either you go for a Zarya or you pick up a Zen. Zen allows you just to apply that Discord orb, and then all the dive targets know exactly who to try to focus down first, or you just go for that big wombo combo of Zarya with either self-destruct or pulse bomb. Here we go. Nano Blade is also one way to do it. Pulse Bomb does connect on him, drops him really low. He's at half health. He can die immediately. Get the Winston, and this fight's basically over. Until the sound barrier. Okay, back out now, LW Blue. Just reset. This is where you switch. This is where Flower should be going to Zarya right now. You have 2 minutes left. Okay. I guess May. Libero picks up May also. Roar has swapped off though. He's picking up the Reinhardt. And so now with 2 minutes left to go, that's when you do really want to make this like last ditch swap off. 2 minutes, more or less, is when a lot of people are gonna get their ultimates, or how long it takes them to farm their ultimates through all of this like damage diffusion. Yeah. This is what they really needed on the side of LW Blue. A lot more CC potential. Oh. As you can see, it took a minute for Roar to build up 65%. I'm actually pretty impressed with LW Blue on their timing on their switches. A lot of other teams are very hesitant and reluctant to make that swap off, and they make it at the wrong time. You need to make it at 2% to give yourself a nice buffer to make sure that you can get your ultimates for a fight. And as you can see, Roar has his now, but it took him about a minute 20 to get it. But on the more conservative effort, it's going to take about 2 minutes for you to get an ultimate. It's a Bilby, come on. They have so many ultimates to work with though, and Libero doesn't have his. It's gonna be a huge difference maker, honestly. Oh, they should have opened up with the self-destruct, honestly. That was bad timing on that. Roar just needs to stay alive. Roar just needs to stay alive. He stays alive. She's making a lot of noises. Cool, now that they finally got the control, they have a lot more of the CC. I think they've done it. Cool. LW Blue are going to go ahead and take map number 2, it looks like. I mean, there's still an opportunity, but nice wall. What? Why'd you put down your wall? Why'd you put down your wall? Oh no, was that the throw? Okay. Oh, even better play coming out from Roar there. That was such a calculated charge coming out from him too. Cool. Nice. Oh my god, he's back on. But he's dead. He's dead. Alright. Cool. Alright. So, Anubis goes the way of LW Blue. And it was primarily because of their proper decision making. So, once again, just to recap what this came down to, I mean, there's very little you can take away from point A. But basically, after this team fight, right? They all die and they're like, okay, whatever. This team fight didn't work. Roar had his primal rage, but he said, fuck it. I'm going to swap. Right? Don't let, I think it's Gambler's Fallacy or something at this point. Oh, I've got my ulti. I should try and use it after this next team fight and then I'll swap off. No, if he tried to go for that one more push, he wouldn't have had time here to get that Reinhardt ultimate up. If you take a look, they're at 2 minutes. And like I said, on a conservative effort, they're at 2 minutes. On a conservative effort, you need to give yourself about 2 minutes to build up that game-changing ultimate that you're looking for. So if you're going for the Reinhardt, right, and it's not just for the shield and you're looking for that huge impact earth shatter, you need you need 2 minutes. So Roar swaps off, Flower swaps off, He's going to pick up the Mei. You need to give yourself 2 minutes. Don't be that stubborn guy that waits until about 1 minute and hey, that's magically when this swap off is going to pay off, because more often than not, it's not going to. All right? If you're going to make the swap at least 2 minutes. Making the swap last minute is one of the dumbest decisions I've seen people make all the time in high level play, in my Grandmaster games, in my Master games. You just can't bank on that. Give yourself that buffer that just in case your next push doesn't pan out, you have a second push to try and get your ultimate. And so, great decision making coming out from LW Blue to be able to secure this. They bring in the extra CC to try and really hammer down and focus on targets individually, right? Works pretty similarly to a Zenyatta. As you see a target getting frozen and the debuff is there, the slow debuff is there, makes it easier to focus them. Also becomes a huge target for your entire team to focus on. Like I said earlier, I want to see LW Blue possibly going for like a Zenyatta or something just to call out the targets for them to focus on. But Flower on the Mei also serves that purpose. So great job, LW Blue. They are now up 2-1 against Meta Athena, looking very close to get to that 3rd place spot here in the OGN Apex. Now after this, we are moving on to map number 4, possibly the decider map.